Good morning, everybody. This is Juliana coming from you directly from Atlanta. The ones that are here with me live today on this beautiful Sunday, November 1st. Welcome and good morning. If you are watching this recorded, good afternoon or good evening. Hopefully, your November has started on the right side, and I'm so glad you joined us today. Since this is live, and if you are logged in live, you can post your comments either on Facebook or on YouTube. So feel free to share your comments. I love interactions. The ones who know me, know how much I appreciate the interaction. So feel free if you're watching this live. Okay, welcome, welcome. And just very grateful that you're here today. And we'll have not only myself, but we have five special guests that will be sharing with us their ideas about gratitude, their personal experiences. So stay tuned. And again, thank you for being here today. Okay. And it is right at 11, and we're going to go ahead and get started. I don't really have a lot of announcements from our SARE Atlanta, our house, except for the Christmas. Stay tuned. There will be Mara will provide us with more details. As you might know, SARE always does something for Christmas to help others. We will not be able to visit the elderlies this year because of COVID-19, as most of you might know about not being able to go visit them this year. But we will be doing the gift wrapping and the gifts distribution for the kids this year, just like we do every year. Okay, so stay tuned for more details if you are here in Atlanta, and we'll be doing that. Okay. Once again, if you just joined, welcome, welcome. If you are watching recorded session, hello again. So glad you're watching this. Okay. So I would like to start with a prayer. And then I'm going to read a passage from the Gospel according to Spiritism. So let's close our eyes. Let's elevate our thoughts as we calm our minds and focus on our prayer. Dear Heavenly Father, dear guardian angels and Master and Brother Jesus, we just thank you so much today for the gift of today, the gift of life, the gift of our presence incarnated here one more time. We give thanks to our family and friends. We give thanks to Spiritism and our faith. We give thanks to you, Lord, in our hearts and lives. I ask that you please bless each and every one of us and our families here represented. May our hearts be opened to listening to you. May our minds be opened so that we can practice what we preach and listen in this short talk today. Be with us today and always. So be it. From the Gospel according to Spiritism, from chapter 5, Blessed are the afflicted, they suffer well or badly. When Christ said, Blessed are the afflicted, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven, he was not referring to those who suffer in general, since everyone on the earth suffers, whether upon the throne or upon straw. But alas, few suffer well. Few understand that only trials that are borne well can lead them to the kingdom of God. Discouragement is a fault. God refuses you consolation because you lack courage. Prayer is a support for the soul, but it is not enough. It must be based on a living faith in God's goodness. You have often been told that God does not put heavy burdens on weak shoulders. The burden is proportional to the strength, such as the reward will be proportional to the resignation and courage. The reward will be greater than the affliction is painful. However, one must merit that reward, and that is why life is full of tribulations. From the Gospel according to Spiritism, so be it. Thank you again, everybody that has joined. My name is Juliana, and I'm live from Atlanta, Georgia. And if you're watching this live, thank you so much. Make sure to leave comments and questions for me throughout this talk. It will be great to hear from you guys. So enjoy. I hope you enjoy this conversation today. First of all, I always like to start telling you why it was that I chose this topic or what motivated me anyway. So there's a couple things that motivated me and I wanted to share that with you. First of all, I want to say congratulations to my friends Flavio Zanetti, Dan Assisi, and Susana Simões for doing a wonderful job with Spiritist Conversations. If you just look them up on YouTube, Spiritist Conversations, you will see their podcasts. I'm sorry, their videos as well. Okay, and their conversations. And there's one specific video that called my attention, and they recorded that in June of 2020. It's called the Grateful for Gratitude. And the reason why I like that conversation was because it really inspired me to think about the topic more and dive deeper into that. I also have a book from Joana de Angeli, so from Divaldo, from the spirit of Joana de Angeli, it's called The Psychology of Gratitude. So here's the copy in Portuguese, but they do have it in English as well. And our friend Kirsten de Mello has posted some videos about it, and she has done wonderful lectures on this topic. So thank you, all four of you, for inspiring me to think about this topic deeper. And something that happened this week with me, specifically my family, was the fact that my sister, who is a doctor in Brazil, she did surgery on a gentleman. He was very, very, very ill. And several weeks later, this gentleman passed. And throughout the entire period, my sister was watching over him and visiting with the family, and she was this gentleman's doctor. Once his passing, my sister receives a WhatsApp message from the family thanking her for all her work and thanking all the healthcare workers that were with this gentleman throughout the weeks where he was really struggling with his illness. And the mother of the gentleman who died, a 90-something-year-old lady, said, Dr. Lorena, I am going to send you a gift to express my gratitude for all the great care you took of my son. And first of all, that really warmed my heart, because in such a moment of despair, when a mother loses her child, what she thought about was gratitude. How beautiful is that, to express in the moment of pain, express your love for somebody else, especially a somewhat stranger, right? It was not a family member. My sister was their caregiver, the gentleman's doctor. So again, this really touched my heart, one, to express my gratitude, not only for my sister, but for all the wonderful doctors and nurses and healthcare workers who are doing such a great job in this hard corona times, right? And just thank you for all your hard work. So just wanted to express my gratitude to you. So those were some of the reasons why I chose this topic today. I think that gratitude is something we need in our daily lives, but sometimes we forget, right? And sometimes people think, why talk about gratitude again? It's just like prayer. Why talk about prayer? And I like that we talked about, the reading today about knowing how to suffer, right? And if you keep yourself as a faithful person and you focus on what you do have, so the half full cup instead of the half empty cup, our lives are better, right? So it's just an importance of where your focus is going to be. Right? So what is gratitude? Gratitude is focusing on the positive, focusing on what you do have, right? I am going to quote from The Psychology of Gratitude by Divaldo Franco, by the spirit of Joanna de Angelis, where on the very first chapter, she talks about the meaning of gratitude. And she says, so gratitude comes from the Latin gratia, which means literally means grace. And gratus can be translated freely as pleasant. And by extension, the meaning of being pleasant and recognizing all the good that you have received and what is given to you. And it's interesting how she goes on the first chapter describing the meaning of gratitude. And she starts by giving us some interesting insights, saying that, in the beginning, even from when we were tiny little bitty inside of mother wombs, we are so used to receiving that we got used to it and start ignoring it. So think about this. So, first you receive cells, right? So two cells get together, they form us, and the cell gets connected to the uterus, becomes a placenta. And how much is given to us as for those 9 or so months we are in our mother's womb, right? All the nourishment, not only the physical nourishment such as the nutrients, but the bond, the love that goes through in the mom's bloodstream that gets transmitted to that growing baby. So Joanna Jones goes on talking about how from the fetal development until later on in life, we're always building our ego because we're so used to receiving, and we are accumulating the favors that we get. However, it's only as our instincts make space for our emotion, the love can teach us to change and to become kinder to one another, developing our moral, ethical sense. So look at that. The more grateful we are is because we are developing love towards one another. And only the ones who are more developed morally and ethically will start to make that shift between just receiving, from just receiving to receiving, and understanding that that was given by grace and therefore we need to be grateful. And I want to close this by her saying that love gives a sign through this phase when you accept and embrace it, that this is the time to serve, to contribute, and to be grateful. So just wanted to start with that quote from Joanna de Angelis. And one friend that is going to start as well. And I would like to invite and thank Marcia for her video. So here we go.
Spiritism is a body of knowledge that has at its core the idea of reincarnation and the idea that we are immortal souls. Has helped me overcome many difficult moments. An example of how it helps me is how I am coping with the current global pandemic. From the Spiritist perspective, this is a time to pause. It's a time to refocus our attention on our emotional selves. And as such, there can be actually many positive outcomes from an otherwise very difficult time. I no longer look at myself and I look at the frailty of my body that is vulnerable to a new virus. And in turn, I see the chance to this immortal soul to grow. It is a chance for me to no longer look at life through just my material self. And in turn, it is pushing me to look at the emotional, moral, and spiritual dimensions of my life.
Thank you, Marcia, so much for sharing that. I really appreciate, and I am grateful that you took the time to be with us and talk about how Spiritism helps you. And I am going to ask Marcia one more question. So with you, Marcia, again.
Hi, we're talking today about gratitude, and I had to think about it. What is gratitude? And to me, gratitude is a lens or a filter by which you interpret or give meaning to everything that happens to you that is part of you. So I call it maybe input to our lives. And from that sense, when we have that filter, those lens on, then you become extremely blessed. You feel that sense of blessing for every moment that you're alive. So for me specifically, what am I grateful for? I'm grateful for this life. I'm grateful for this opportunity to learn, to grow, especially grow emotionally, intellectually, morally. I'm also very grateful for my family, for my friends, and for all those that come in touch with me. Maybe even we can extend those gratitudes for all the lessons that come to us via books and lectures and videos, YouTube, etc., etc. So for that, I'm grateful to you.
Thank you, Marcia. We are very grateful to you as well. We really appreciate that. Um, Yes, it is a great topic, Johnny. Thank you so much. I agree. It's important to express gratitude in every little thing that we do in our lives. And I want to share with you another guest today. Her name is Christine. She comes from Brazil. She's going to introduce herself, and she's going to talk to us about not only what the word gratitude is versus the word complaint. And she's always going to share a very emotional testimony about how she expressed gratitude in her life. So, with you, Christine.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Christine. I'm from Brazil, and I'm just about to start my day with some physical exercises, dancing, which I love. But I thought that before beginning my day doing some physical exercises or dancing, I might start talking about gratefulness. And that's exactly what I'm going to do, because this is the first thing in the morning I want to focus on. Right. So as I don't believe in coincidences, yesterday, I think the video that somebody sent me was not on purpose. There was something meant to be. And this video was about gratitude, being grateful and being thankful, or being always complaining about something. And I'm going to share this with you. This lady said that people make a confusion between what's to be grateful and what's to be thankful. Being thankful is an act of good manners, like thank you for that. But being grateful is much further. It goes further than that. It tells you where your focus is. And some people have this focus on complaining. They, instead of being grateful, they complain all the time. And what are the consequences of that? Well, then I had to go back to the word complain in English, because this is supposed to be in English. I know the combination in Portuguese, but then I was a kind of curious to know if this combination would be the same as in English, so com plus plain, and what it meant. So I went to the internet and to a book which I had that talks about the origin of words. And what I found here is that the word complain comes from Latin. It's here, complaining, and no, Middle English, complaining, Latin, complangere, and also French, which is comprendre. I don't speak French. But anyway, complangere, let's get this word. Com means with. It means together. And plangere, it's a bewail. So, which means that in life you have two choices to anything that happens to you. Either you're thankful or you start complaining about that. But what happens is, as you start complaining, you start getting more calm, remember, with of your bewail. So the more you complain, the more you have of the same. Which is the same for the gratitude. The more you're grateful for, the more you get that, more of that. So I'm sure Juliana wants me to share with you something that happened to me. I'm a mother of 6, and my third child died 15 years ago, 11 years ago. I'm sorry. He was 15. And at that time, I had a choice. Either I would complain in grief, or I would be grateful for the 15 years we had together. And I chose the second part. I wanted to be grateful for that because I had 15 years, so I could focus on the 15 years that I had with him, or I could focus on the rest of my life, which I don't know how many years will be, in grief. So before starting my day, I'd like to tell you that I'm thankful for my life. I'm thankful for the 15 years life gave me with my child. And I'm thankful for the 5 other children that I received. I don't think that's madness, having 6 children, as people tell me. I think that is grace. So I'm grateful for all of that. And I wish you a very good day. I wish all of you are grateful for everything you have. And please stop complaining.
Wow. Thank you, Chris, so much. I am so grateful for our friendship. We've known each other for um, you know 35 plus years. So I'm really grateful for your beautiful family and for your testimony, for taking the time to record this message and share with us a little bit about your life and your experience. And Pedro knows how missed and he is, and how loved he is by his family. And I just want to share that Christine's mother shared with us one time that she actually received letters from Pedro from the afterworld, and how that warmed her heart. And that to me is a testimony of being grateful for the 15 years this family was able to spend with their beloved son and brother and grandson. And how spiritism can also be this consoler, right? The consoler that helps us understand that it is possible to talk to our loved ones who have gone before us, and we know that this life here on earth, this incarnation, is temporary, that we are immortal beings, and we will see our loved ones again, right? So yes, Dani, I agree with you. I think it's a beautiful testimony. So I agree. Thank you for the comment, Dani, and thank you, Christine, for sharing that with us. Right. I wanted to bring some details about gratitude and some scientific information about it. Why? Because as we know, Spiritism is a philosophy, is a way of living. It has a branch of religion, since we do talk about God and Jesus being our model and master and brother and divine, or most perfect model of how we want to live our lives, but also the scientific aspect of Spiritism, right? So science is proven to us the importance of gratitude. So sometimes people think, oh, it's just, just say thank you and everything's good. But no, there's proof to the beauty and the need to be grateful in our lives, because there are tons of benefits that come from it. So here are some of them from some scientific studies. First of all, it says that it improves relationship. It gives us greater physical health, ability to cope with daily stress, and help us be more loving and forgiving, and higher levels of positive emotions, because it increases our hormones. So isn't that great that we actually, by being grateful, we can have a better life, right, in general? So here's a study from Dr. Glenn Affleck. He says that cardiac patients who blame their heart attacks on others were more likely to suffer another heart attack within an 8-year period. This is scientific proof, guys, of the importance of complaining less and being more grateful. Okay? Here's again from Dr. Affleck. Those who perceived benefits from an initial heart attack, such as appreciating life, were more apt to have a reduced risk for a subsequent attack. Because gratitude drives our toxic emotions, such as resentment, anger, and envy, and may be associated with better long term emotional and physical health in transplant recipients. So, the ones that are actually grateful when they receive a new heart are more, they have better conditions to live, and their transplant goes better, right? So from a study from Emmons and McCollum, it suggests that gratitude strengthens the immune system, lowers the blood pressure, reduces the symptoms of illness, makes us less bothered by pain and ache, and encourages us to exercise more and take better care of ourselves. Wow, that's a lot, right? So a lot for us to think about and reasons why we should be more grateful. And now I want to bring another friend of mine that has to do with this physical part of being grateful. So, and I want to bring LaSalle to give her testimony to us now. So with you, LaSalle.
So I am most grateful right now for my health, especially in this pandemic. I have always been a healthy person, knock on wood, but I don't get sick very often. I attribute that a lot to just being physically active and being very proactive and taking care of myself. And this year I've been very appreciative. And when I go and work out and my trainer is giving me a very hard day and I'm not always in the mood for it because I'm stressed out with work or life, he always says to me, how blessed are you that your lungs can move and do the work, that your body can get up and do the work. And sometimes he's being sarcastic, but I take it as a reminder to be grateful that not only am I healthy and I am able to work right now and not be impacted financially by the virus, but that my body is strong and it's healthy. And so I show my gratitude by keeping it that way as much as I can, right? Like it's a priority for me, even in this really difficult time when it's much easier to sit on the couch all day and not get up or not take the dogs on a walk. I also try to daily thank God for the blessings of my health, for my family, for my job, just the basic stuff, right? I think a year ago it was me maybe complaining, why don't I have X, Y, and Z? And now with the pandemic, it's really brought a lot of things to light, and I definitely want to be more mindful of what I do have and appreciate it because it's not forever. So the job stability, the home, my health, I can't stress that enough. And I just always walk in humility. So I'm always very humble about, that it's by God's grace that I'm able to still have plentiful employment. By God's grace, I don't have to be around hundreds of people every day. I can sit in the safety of my home and work. By God's grace, my family's all, for the most part, been very protected from this virus and making good decisions. And so my faith is that, I recognize that everything I have is because of Him. And I don't take that for granted. And I definitely want to continue to be more, I don't always show it externally, but internally I'm very, very grateful and hope that His favor continues on and protects us all. as we get into these cold months.
Yes, thank you, Lacelle. Especially in these tough times, right? COVID-19 has put us in a situation that unheard of, right? Unprecedented situations, and it's just so great to be grateful for having the ability to do simple things like you said, such as taking care of our health and walk the dogs. And I like how your trainer sarcastically but also truthfully says, be glad you have limbs, be glad you have muscles, be glad you have a heart that's pumping while you exercise. So thank you, Lacelle, for sharing that about what you're grateful for, and especially in these tough times, right? Thank you so much. And I wanted to share with you guys the fact that there's another study where they put two groups of people, right? So they wrote a gratitude. They did, sorry, a gratitude study, and with these two groups, one group they were always complaining, so they thought of most simple things in life as a burden, where the other group they thought of the simple things in life as a blessing. Right. So for burdens, the group that thought of things as burdens, they thought that things were like even finding a parking spot was hard, or that a messy kitchen would destroy their day because no one wanted to clean the kitchen, or their finances were they always complain about how little money they have, and even if they burned their mac and cheese, they were very sad, and everything was seen in a very heavy heart. On the other hand, the group that was counting their blessings and actually developed a habit of daily thanking God and having a gratitude for everything and anything that they have, they actually were showing more generosity towards their friends. They appreciated their right to vote, and they saw the sunset through the clouds. So these were some of the quotes that we saw from these two different groups, right? So that shows us that gratitude is the key to happiness, right? Happy people definitely are more helpful, more creative, more charitable, more self-confidence. They have better self-control, and they show greater coping abilities when tough times hit them, right? So I like this idea of gratitude being the key to happiness. And with that, I want to show a testimony of somebody that is not my friend, but he's very famous, probably worldwide, is a 17-year-old boy. And I will tell you a little bit more about him after you watch this video. So with no further ado, Sam.
I'm just going to give you some more information about progeria. It affects only about 350 kids today worldwide, so it's pretty rare. And effects of progeria include tight skin, lack of weight gain, stunted growth, and heart disease. Last year, my mom and her team of scientists published the first successful progeria treatment study. And because of this, I was interviewed on NPR. And John Hamilton asked me the question, what is the most important thing that people should know about you? And my answer was simply that I have a very happy life. Thank you. So even though there are many obstacles in my life, with a lot of them being created by progeria, I don't want people to feel bad for me. I don't think about these obstacles all the time, and I'm able to overcome most of them anyway. So I'm here today to share with you my philosophy for a happy life. So for me, there are three aspects to this philosophy. The first aspect to my philosophy is that I'm okay with what I ultimately can't do because there's so much that I can do. Now, people sometimes ask me questions like, isn't it hard living with progeria? Or what daily challenges of progeria do you face? And I'd like to say that even though I have progeria, most of my time is spent thinking about things that have nothing to do with progeria at all. Now, this doesn't mean that I ignore the negative aspects of these obstacles. When I can't do something like run a long distance or go on an intense roller coaster, I know what I'm missing out on. But instead, I choose to focus on the activities that I can do through things that I'm passionate about, like scouting or music or comic games. Yeah. So, however, sometimes I need to find a different way to do something by making adjustments, and I want to put those things in the can do category.
Yes, this is a very powerful video, and thank you, Sam, so much for sharing your philosophy for a happy life. So, if you have never heard of Sam Burns, he passed right after this talk. This talk was given in October of 2003, and he passed in the beginning months of 2004. Okay, so Sam has this, as he explained in his video, this very extremely rare disease called progeria that makes the body get old extremely fast, right? So most 350 kids that have this in the world, their average lifespan is only 13 years old. So Sam, as you saw from the short clip from his TED talk in 2013, his mother is a scientist, and she dedicated her life to researching the disease of progeria. And what calls my attention in this video, like Sam said, is not focusing on progeria, the disease, but focusing on what makes him happy. What does he want to be remembered for? For being a happy person, right? And instead of complaining, instead of saying, I can't do that, Sam chose to focus on what he can do or could do, right? And during this TED talk, Sam shares that his dream was to play in the marching band, right? And the instrument that he wanted to play was 60 pounds. However, because of the disease, he only weighed 50 pounds. So obviously, it was impossible for him to use the 60-pound instrument. So his family, with the help of some engineers, designed a 4-pound instrument that he could actually play. And it was his dream to go in the marching band, and Sam actually is a member of the marching band. And had we had time, we could just watch more of Sam Burns' TED Talk. But if you just look for on YouTube, My Philosophy for a Happy Life by Sam Burns, you will be able to watch his 20-minute or 13-minute video about his life. Okay, and just on a fun side, and I love when at the end he says, and I actually have, he begins a talk by saying he has 3 mottos for living a happy life. But at the end, he says, well, my 4th one is have fun in life. And he actually signed up for prom. And he says later that he is ready for prom. So that was his moment of sharing his happy life with us, right? And again, I just love how the lenses that he put, to quote Marcia, right? She talked about how gratitude is this idea that you can choose what lenses to wear so you can see things in a different way. And how Sam also has the same thing about choosing what lenses he's going to wear to see life, right? So he did not focus on progeria. Right, like he said, most of the time I think of other things, and he focused on what he could do. So, how many of us are always focusing on the short-term benefit, or focusing on the immediate pleasures, or focusing on what we do not have, right? So, or, how much better, how much happier wouldn't our lives be if we actually focus on the later, right? Delayed pleasures, and getting there, enjoying the journey as we get somewhere else, right? As we go through our inner transformation. How much better would we be if we were like Sam and focus on what we can do, what we do have, and be grateful and appreciate that, right? Even the small things in life. I want to invite another friend over, and if you're not from Atlanta, you might be watching this recorded instead of live. So thank you for this, the people that are watching this live. If you're not watching live, just wanted to share that a few days ago here in Atlanta, we had a hurricane coming through with huge storms throughout the night a few days ago, and lots of people lost their homes, or just got their homes hit by trees and did not have power for a long time. So I wanted to share another testimony of a friend of ours and how she talks about gratitude. So Sylvia, with you now.
Hello, dear friends. Have you ever thought about living in a place with no electricity? Did you ever lost power in your home because of something? Well, this past week, because of the tropical storm, we lost power in our home for a day and a half. And then it was such a good reminder for us to be thankful for the electricity that we have, because we didn't realize how many things we have that requires electricity. So today I just want to thank God for the electricity that we have, the comfort that brings to our home, and for everything that provides to our planet. Okay, I hope you all are good and safe. Take care. Miss you all. Bye.
Thank you, Sylvia. Yes, I know these tough times we really miss each other, and the warm hug of being together and being grateful for our friends is so important, right? So, like she said, right, she pointed out being grateful for the small things in life, even electricity. Sometimes we think I have nothing to be grateful for, or I'm just grateful for being alive, which is great, right? But I want to challenge us to be grateful for not only everything, but even the smallest things in our lives. So there are actually some techniques, and the technique comes from a whole chapter in Joanna's book where she talks about techniques for being grateful. And she talks about, first of all, being grateful for short-term things and for long-term things, okay? So I want to share with you some opportunities or some suggestions or ideas or tools that you can use in your daily life to be more grateful. So first of all is having a gratitude diary. So what does that mean? Literally writing. Count your blessings. You've heard the sentence before, right? Count your blessings. So literally, there is an invitation, and I would like to invite you to write down during 30 days what is it that you're grateful for every day. So you can do that in the morning when you first wake up, like Christine said in her video that she likes to think about what she's grateful for as she's dancing and doing her physical exercise in the morning. Or you can do that as a reflection of your day at night, right? So St. Augustine invites us to do that, right? So it's a reflection every night about what went right in your day, and if something went wrong, how could you have fixed it? So by doing that, we are trying to work hard on improving ourselves, right? Because if you are aware of what you're doing, then you can change, right? But also counting your blessings as you reflect through your day at night, or when you're about to go to sleep. So technique and suggestion number one is to count your blessings daily. And research says, I'm going to bring up some more data again. So research says that the groups, so again, they did a study that people actually did that for a period of 30 days. So they ran the study. One group was running, or was writing, I'm sorry, was writing their diary and counting their blessings every day. And another group of people were not. And guess what happens? 6 months after they study, the group that was writing their blessings felt better about their lives as a whole. They were more optimistic about the future. 25% were happier than the other group. They reported fewer health complaints. They experienced fewer symptoms of physical illness, and they spent nearly 1.5 hours per week more exercising than those that were not doing the gratitude exercise. So again, this is a scientific study, and I love that it's not just me that thinks gratitude is so important, right? There are so many others out there that are actually doing that and changing their lives, right? The question is, are we ready to change our lives? Change is not easy. I was just talking to some other people today that it is very easy to remain in inertia, right? So remain where we are. However, Spiritism really challenges us to bring forth in us the power of change and inner transformation. We know that Socrates already said that, right? Where do we find all the answers? Inside of us. Know thyself. If we know us, then we can change who we are and we can improve ourselves, right? So challenge number one would be that, or suggestion number one would be count your blessings on a daily basis. The other one is just what they call the ordinary thank you. So say thank you for ordinary situations. So they talk about work situations where people, there's another study, so they actually got some employees, and they had their employers write small thank you notes, like post-it notes, and give to those employees. And some in the other group, they did not. So they did not have any appreciation at all for what they did. And this is for a month, for a 3-month span, right? So what happened was, this admin person specifically, they researched her because their interaction with their representatives passed on and improved based on her relationship from their employer. So gratitude, it has a ripple effect, right? So her employer was being grateful and sending her and the other employees post-it notes saying thank you for the great job you're doing for very specific situations. So it wasn't just good morning, thank you. No, it was dear so and so, I would like to thank you for answering the call today with a smile on your face, or thank you for sending that email very quickly when I asked you to. So it was thanking people for ordinary and small things that they did in their life. And that person passed that gratitude on, and she improved her work atmosphere, right? And she was passing it on to the people that she worked with as well, that she interacted with. So I love the ripple effect of being positive and grateful in our lives, right? That's just beautiful. I love that. And I want to challenge you. I know that we don't have a lot of time, so I would like for you to do like a quick exercise. And I challenge some of you that might be online right now to take 30 seconds, right? So take 30 seconds and write your blessings. Even if you don't have a pen and paper right now, try to count your blessings in your brain. I'm going to give you 30 seconds to try and count your blessings. At the end, I want you to post a number and let me know what you're grateful for. All right, time goes by fast when you're having fun, right? I was able to count 5, right? And just because I already knew the exercise was coming, so I took my time and I actually was able to scribble down 5 things that I am very grateful for. If you would like to share, that would be great. So it becomes a little interactive. Again, you can do this exercise with your family. You can do that with you, right? And if you were not able to come up with anything, if this tool number 1, which is count your blessings, is not the way that you like, here's another suggestion, right? So there is an exercise, there's a study from Ming-Kyung Koo that he suggests this, right? He suggests you do something called mental subtraction. So what is mental subtraction? So reflect on something in your life. How would you do without it? So that's why he calls the mental subtraction, right? So what if important and positive things in your life, such as a job opportunity or educational achievement or anything, would have never taken place? Reflect on what your life would be like without them. So mental subtraction is our tool number 2. Okay. And I like Sylvia's comment or testimony when she said, she misses electricity and little things in life, simple things in life that we can be grateful for. So again, if the diary is not something that you want to write or do, try to do the mental subtraction. What am I thankful for? I don't know. Well, look around. How would you do without your phone? So be grateful for your phone. Be grateful for technology, or be grateful for a job that you have that gives you the opportunity to have money to buy a phone and pay for your Wi-Fi, right? How grateful are we for knowledge? Okay, do without it. What would I do without all these books that we have available, without so much content on the internet that we have right now to learn things? How would we do without them? And then we can be more grateful for them, right? So that would be another suggestion. Okay, and all right, we got 7. That's great. Hey, 30 minutes, 30 seconds, Danny. That is excellent. So thank you so much for sharing that. Thank you. And I wanted to show another study, okay, that took place. And this is a study that actually became a book. So if you're interested, and let me get the name of the book. I'm sorry, I scrolled the wrong way on my PowerPoint, guys. So this is a study that was done with nuns, okay? So they actually got 500 nuns and, I'm sorry, it was 90. Okay, I got my numbers mixed up as I was reading my slide. So this is a study from Snowdon and Danner, okay? So the name of the book is called Aging with Grace, What the Nun Study Teaches Us about leading longer, healthier, and more meaningful lives. So again, the book is called Aging with Grace. So it was a study done with 90 nuns who had few positive emotions. About 20 to 30 of them were still alive. Okay, and out of these 90 nuns who expressed positive emotions, 70 of them were still alive, 3 times more than other nuns. How interesting is that, right? So let me say that again. They again decided to compare the nuns, and the reason why they decided to do that was because they wanted people that were in the same situation, right? They wanted people that were within the same or very approximate age, the same gender. They wanted people that were not married, did not smoke, shared similar healthcare, similar housing, same diet. So they decided to study these nuns. And I'm going to have to correct my number once more because I finally found my number. So I was somewhat right. It was nearly 700 nuns from the School Sisters of Notre Dame that participated in this project. Okay, so this group offered a very unique opportunity to examine health and longevity and the impact of positive lifestyles, happiness, and gratitude. So there you go, 700 nuns from the School Sisters of Notre Dame that participated in this study. Okay. So again, the ones that counter their blessings and the ones that have a more positive outcome in life lived longer. This became a book that was published by Snowdown and Danner. How amazing is that, guys? Right? So here's another opportunity for us to just be grateful, and a reminder of the importance of gratitude for us that want to live a good, healthy life. Right? So just as a reminder, tool number 1 to do that in practical ways was to count your blessings. Do a gratitude diary daily. Tool number 2 was to do a mental subtraction. If you reduce something from your life, right? Well, what if I did not have that? How would my life be? And then you become grateful for that. Okay. The other one was called another tool that I talked about was the ordinary thank you. So writing thank you messages, passing that along, and having a ripple effect on other people too. Okay. Here's another tool. You guys ready? It is called Savor. Okay, so this is a study from 2013 conducted by Quickbach and Dunn, and they found that abstaining from chocolate for a week led people to derive greater pleasure from eating chocolate when they indulged back again. So look at that. And no, we're not talking about being grateful for chocolate, although we could, right? That would be great. But the study shows that, show that we should try a give it up practice. So temporarily giving up something that you enjoy and then coming back to it later again. This time you will have a greater anticipation, excitement, and enjoyment towards it. Right? So that is the other suggestion, is that if you don't know what you can be thankful for, just get something you like, go without it, and then when you pick it up again, yes, I'm sure you'll be grateful. That reminds me of when I hurt my little toe, right? Have you ever kicked the corner of a table? And man, that little toe that you never think anything for just hurts like crazy, right? And then, you just don't feel a little toe anymore, right? So we want to be grateful for little toes without being hurt, no boo-boos on them, because definitely that is a blessing to not have them hurt. Because when they do get hurt, then we really remember them, right? And as we come to the end, very close to the end to our talk, I want to give you another testimony, and this time, or in this testimony, Kawan, and is going to tell us a little bit about what he's grateful for. And so let's hear from the youth. Kawan, to you now.
Hello everybody, my name is Kawan. I'm 17 years old and I'm grateful for my whole family, mainly my sister, my father and my mom. I mean, without it, I would be nobody, And I appreciate being able to help the Spirit Center when I volunteer or when I give food to the poor and stuff like that. So, yeah, thanks very much and bye-bye.
Thank you, Kawan. It's so good to hear from you. Thank you, thank you. And all the way back, all the way from Brazil, Kawan sent his testimony and took his time to actually write and record this video to us. So I'm very grateful for you, Kawan. Thank you for sharing what you're thankful for. And not sure if you guys noticed, but Kawan actually volunteers at a Spiritist Center in his town, Santa Luzia, in Minas, Brazil. And he and his family have been part of Spiritist Center for many years, and they actually help with youth education now. So what a blessing to have a family that actually embraces, the faith and love and charity as their motto in life. So thank you, Kawan, and for his wonderful parents who are stimulating and giving that opportunity for the whole family. So thank you. Okay, and yes, so a lot, definitely. So Vanya, thank you so much. We do have a lot to be grateful for. You're super welcome, Vanya. You're super welcome. And yes, I agree. Those were great testimonies. And I want to thank everyone that contributed to this talk. I would not have done without you guys. So for all of you, Marcia, Christine, Sylvia, Kawan, LaSalle, and Sam Burns, who has passed, thank you so much for dedicating some time to share with others this beautiful thing that gratitude is. Okay, and thank you for all of you guys who participated. Hi, John and Vivi. Thank you so much. That is amazing. Almost one blessing per second. Kudos to you guys. Thank you so much for sharing that. And as we close now, our hour is almost over. Again, just want to thank you. I am going to say a prayer, and I am going to close with a prayer from Missionaries of Light, the very last chapter. I would like to close with that. Okay? So Our high spirits, our Heavenly Father, dear Jesus, what a blessing to be here today. What a beautiful opportunity to be together. Thank you. Thankful. We are so thankful for all the beauties of life. Thank you for nature. Thank you for the rain and the sunshine. Thank you for the roof over our heads. Thank you for our health, our family, and friends. And thank you so much for the obstacles that we go through as they are growth opportunities. And in closing, I pray, Lord, enable us to serve with the faithfulness with which you love us, and forgive our weakness and hesitation in the execution of your work. Strengthen our hearts so that the past may not disturb us and the future may not worry us, so that we may honor your trust on this day that you have given us for our continued renewal until our final victory. So be it. Thank you all for watching. Thank you for the ones that were watching live. If you're watching this recorded, thank you. I have you have a wonderful day, a wonderful evening. Let us go in peace to always love one another. Thank you again. Have a wonderful day.